What's up, NFL fans? I'm Tate Bessie with DTD and today I'm going to bring to you my favorite first round selections from the 2023 NFL Draft. I think there's 6 guys that stand out as great values for the pick that they were selected. I think they're great team fits for the scheme, and I think that they fit a major need for each team. So I expect big things from these rookies for their franchises. I think fans are going to love these picks. There will also be 6 more honorable mentions at the end of the video. But let's jump right into it with pick 11. The Tennessee Titans select Peterskoronski. Now, coming into this draft, I did team needs for each team, and the Tennessee Titans' primary need was listed as entire offensive line. Everyone on the offensive line, every position was needed. They added Andre Dillard in the offseason and Daniel Brunskill, an interior offensive lineman, but neither of them are very proven to be top-level offensive line talent. Andre Dillard was a former first-round pick, and he's still a huge question mark at left tackle. So that's a big swing. I'm not sure it's going to work out. But if you look at who they lost this offseason, they lost their starting center, Ben Jones. They lost maybe their best offensive lineman, left guard Nate Davis. Left tackle, Taylor Lewan. He was out most of the season with injury anyways, but he's not coming back. Then you got Dennis Daly, their right tackle, gone. So 4 starters left this team. They desperately needed help along that offensive line, and who better to fill that spot than Peterskoronski? A lot of people see Skoronski as a guard. I think he has the ability to start at tackle, but with Andre Dillard in the mix, maybe you start him out at guard, see if Dillard fills in that hole at left tackle. And then Peterskoronski can be an elite swing tackle while being a Pro Bowl level guard. I think Skoronski offers a ton of power at the point of attack in the run game. He does a great job to widen the play side edge on runs or a play side 3 technique for the Tennessee Titans if he's playing guard. He gets great movement on the first level in double teams and then recognizes when to come off on the second level and has good angles when coming off to always seal off that second level linebacker and create huge running lanes. So I really see Skoronski as a high level run blocker, and that's perfect for the Tennessee Titans, who love to run the ball with Derrick Henry and 3rd round selection Tyjae Spears. So I think Skoronski was a perfect scheme fit for them and a perfect team need. He's also great value. He was right there as a number 1 offensive lineman on my board along with Anton Harrison. He does have some weaknesses. He might struggle with some of the bendier and faster edges, like I think about a Brian Burns or a Micah Parsons, but who doesn't struggle against these guys? He's got shorter arms, so there is question about him being a long-term left tackle, but it's his consistent kick sets and hand techniques and effort that is unmatched in this class that makes me believe he has that potential to play on the outside. And if not, well, you got yourself a long-term Pro Bowl caliber guard. This was a perfect selection for an offensive line needy team in the Tennessee Titans. Now, the next selection that I really loved in the first round of the 2023 draft was pick 17 by the New England Patriots. They got rookie Christian Gonzalez. And I love Christian Gonzalez in this scheme as a man coverage corner. The Patriots needed cornerback help. They had Miles Bryant and Jalen Mills play over 1,100 combined snaps last year, and they were not good. And Bill Belichick's defense runs best with a true lockdown man coverage corner. You think about all of his best defenses, they always had a true number 1 corner in Ty Law, Asante Samuel, Stephon Gilmore, Malcolm Butler, J.C. Jackson. It doesn't matter. Each defense had a guy who could follow receivers around the field and truly lock someone down. And I think Christian Gonzalez has that potential. He's an elite athlete. He jumped a 41.5-inch vertical. He ran a 4.38 40. He's 6'1", 197 with 32-inch arms. This guy is prototypical to be an elite man coverage corner, and it shows up on tape at Oregon. He had super fluid hips. If he was beat at the line, he could instantly recover, flip his hips, and drive on the football. He really improved his ball skills at Oregon, where he had 4 interceptions, and it's easy to envision this being the next great Bill Belichick corner. So I love the fit. I think he's best in man, and that's exactly what Bill Belichick is going to use him for. And I can't wait to see what they get out of him. I was blown away he was still there at pick 17. I know a lot of people were. I saw him going as high as pick 7 to the Raiders. So this is a great value. And I know New England Patriots fans wanted a wide receiver to help Mac Jones, but I think they're going to love this pick come fall. Now, the next selection that I wanted to highlight in this draft had to be pick 27, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Anton Harrison. Harrison was my number 1 rated offensive tackle along with Peterskoronski in the entire draft. So I really see this as a huge value pick for the Jaguars, and they need to keep improving this offensive line. That's something that I'll always preach, is if you're going to have a young franchise cornerstone at the quarterback position, you have to keep him healthy. We've all seen what happened to Andrew Luck in the Indianapolis Colts. It was tragic his career ended so early. So let's not do that with Trevor Lawrence. Cam Robinson was suspended, so I don't know if Harrison will play some left tackle early on, but I think their plan is to move him to right tackle for the future, and that's probably his biggest question mark, only playing 53 snaps at right tackle in college. But I love this guy's talent. He's got incredible movement skills for 315 pounds. He ran a 4.98 40 and a 1.77 10-yard split. He's got really functional athleticism when you see him on the field, climbing to the second level or trying to reach block. He does these with ease, and he's much more than just an athlete. I mean, he's got tons of power. He's really effective at widening the play side edge and creating early movement in the double team on the line of scrimmage. He also shown plenty of hand techniques very effectively throughout his final season. He really improved, showing single hand strikes, snatch and trap techniques, and his favorite go-to was the wrap technique, which with 34-inch arms and a great anchor, he's really effective at this. When players tried to bull rush him, he was quickly able to reset, drop his hips, and be a stone wall that couldn't be moved back. So I really think Anton Harrison is going to be a franchise tackle for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I love this selection. Protect your quarterback. And so I had to highlight it as one of the best picks in the first round. Now the fourth selection I want to highlight is pick 28, Myles Murphy to the Cincinnati Bengals. I love Murphy's talent at pick 28. I think it's a phenomenal value. I had him as my 10th overall prospect on the board. And even though the Bengals already have Trey Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard on the roster, I still think he's a great fit. You look at what the Eagles did last year, making the Super Bowl, leaning on that defensive front seven. And I think it's a wise move for the Bengals to try to replicate that, especially with Joe Burrow's passing ability. I think if you get after the quarterback and make it hard for other teams to catch up, that's a great decision. That's a great team building philosophy. So I really love Myles Murphy here. I think he can play the 5 technique potentially in their 3-4 defense. If you add 15 pounds to him, he shows plenty of power. He's got the frame that I think matches a potential 5 technique. Or I could see him playing outside linebacker as a 3-4 pass rusher. He ran a 4.51 40 at his pro day, so he has plenty of athleticism and it pops on tape. He's got great quickness and speed to close on ball carriers. He's got good agility to quickly stunt inside and make blockers completely whiff on him, or if they're lucky enough to get their hands on him but he's at half a man, well, he's just too powerful and he rips high and often finishes through to get a pressure on the quarterback. And he's really gotten an elite athletic profile. He reminds me a lot of Trayvon Walker, who went first overall to the Jags last year. I don't agree with that pick, but I think Myles Murphy is more of a finished product than Walker was. He's that elite profile, but he's flashed a lot more pass rush moves. He's got a beautiful club. He's got a beautiful club rip. He's got 2-hand swipe, 1-hand swipe, a cross chop. He's flashed a long arm. He's really got a lot of moves that he's been testing at the college level. And I think that with Trey Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard there to fill the role early and be veteran presences, I think that Myles Murphy can really grow and be a dominant pass rusher on this rookie contract and help maybe push this team over the top. So if I were to give this pick a grade, I think the Bengals deserve an A+ for adding a top talent at a premium position. Now the fifth selection that I think is worthy of praise is pick 30, Nolan Smith to the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles just went to a Super Bowl leaning heavily on their pass rush, and I think it's a great idea to keep that as a strong group. You got Brandon Graham, who's aging. We don't know how long he'll be here. And I think it will be great to pair Nolan Smith with Hassan Reddick. Reddick was an undersized edge himself, and he's learned how to be successful as a pass rusher in the NFL. A lot of people worried about Nolan Smith's size, but I think learning from a veteran like Reddick is perfect for him. him. They're both extremely athletic, but Nolan Smith has even more juice. This guy ran a 4.39 40 and jumped a 41.5-inch vertical. Those are incredible numbers, even at the lightweight of 238 pounds. You know what? This guy plays a lot heavier than that. He has way more strength than makes any sense for a man his size. He sets a strong play side edge. He dominates tight ends, and he plays with great arm extension, usually keeping one arm free to easily shed and make a play on the outside. He's got great burst to quickly get upfield and beat tackles around the edge, paired with good cornering ability. And the threat of his speed rush off the edge opens up the inside nicely, where he counters back in and usually attacks the hands accurately to disrupt the tackle's punch. And he just makes plays all over the field. I think he was an elite talent in this class. I had him right there with Myles Murphy. They're 9 and 10. They really had the same grade for me. But to get Smith at pick 30 is just outrageous. This guy is an extremely hard worker. He was a captain on that Georgia defense. He's a very intelligent man who I have all the confidence that can grow his pass rush repertoire. He already has some good moves, like I mentioned, swatting before, countering inside. He also has a good cross chop and a long arm swat. He flashes a forklift. With his great athleticism, he can fake inside and freeze an offensive lineman and open up that outside edge. So he's just got all the tools to work with. I think being with this Eagles veteran defensive line is a dream fit. And man, this Eagles defense is going to be even scarier this year with Nolan Smith. Now, the final selection that I think is worthy of some praise in the first round is pick 31, Felix Anudike-Uzomah to the Kansas City Chiefs. Brett Veach and Steve Spags have been searching for a pass rusher ever since Justin Houston left in 2018, and I think Felix can do that pretty early in his career. He had a tremendous amount of success as a young man in the Big 12. As a 19-year-old, he had 14.5 tackles for loss and 11 sacks. And then heading into his junior season as a 20-year-old with much more attention, he still had 11 tackles for loss, 8.5 sacks, and showed a really impressive understanding of how to rush the passer for such a young player. And with Felix's help, I think the Chiefs will finally have the pass rush that they've been looking for to go alongside Chris Jones. You've got George Karlaftis heading into his second season. He was a first-round pick last year. And then you've got Charles Omenihu, who they just signed, and he's a quality starter. Add Felix to that rotation, and there's a lot of different skill sets, and I think Felix will pick it up quickly in the NFL. I expect him to be a great impact by the end of the season when the Chiefs go on their playoff run. Felix showed a lot in college. He was a strong player against the run, setting a good edge, but it is definitely his pass rush that stands out. He's got great ball get off, good strength to not get washed when pass rushing inside. He flips his hips and corners well at the top of the rush. He hits many different kinds of spins inside and out. He's got a club rip, a bull to forklift, a long arm ghost, a good bull rush, a double chop, a push-pull rip. He's got so much already in his bag, and he can just keep building on this and be more effective and efficient with these techniques that he has. He does a good job to fake outside with his great athleticism and quickly rush inside and attack the tackle's hands when they overset. I mean, he understands what he's doing as a pass rusher, and this is the exact kind of player that the Chiefs needed. I have Felix as my number 18 player overall, and he could have been a couple of spots higher for me. He had the same grade as my number 14 player. So I think to get him at pick 31 and fill a role that the Chiefs desperately needed to get after the quarterback, this was a home run pick for the Chiefs. I expect him to make a great impact in year one, but really be one of the better players on this defense, one of the cornerstones for years to come, and earn a second contract under this Chiefs team. As a fan of the Kansas City Chiefs myself, I am thrilled about this pick. I have not liked a lot of our picks in the past, but I think they finally got one right, and I cannot wait for the season to start so I can watch this guy. And finally, I want to give a brief shout out to 6 honorable mentions, starting with Jalen Carter to the Philadelphia Eagles at pick 9. Carter was the best talent on the field in this entire NFL draft. It was off the field character concerns that caused him to fall this far in the draft. And so the Eagles, with a good locker room, should be able to help him reach his full potential and stay out of trouble. And man, this could be one of the best players in NFL football for years to come. So really, he could have easily made my list, but I think you've heard about him enough. Next, I have to give a shout out to Kalijah Cansey, pick number 19 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Cansey is a superstar on the field for Pitt. He made plays all over the field, constantly getting to the quarterback, disrupting the run, and I love his potential, but he is undersized, so it was a little bit of a risk. I think it's a risk worth taking, so good job. Tampa Bay at 19, this is a great value. Next honorable mention has to go to Jackson Smith-Njigba and the Seattle Seahawks. Man, I don't think anyone expected Smith-Njigba to be there at pick 20. He was the top receiver on most people's board, and it's because of his elite quickness and his sharp route running. His 3-cone was the fastest at the combine at any position. He ran a 6.57, which is blazing. He had a 3.93 short shuttle, and that quickness shows up when he's in the slot, running a variety of routes and changing direction with ease. With DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett stretching the field, JSN is going to contribute a ton from the slot. The fourth honorable mention is Quentin Johnson, pick 21 to the Los Angeles Chargers, and he is a perfect fit for what they need. Justin Herbert's got a cannon of an arm, and they needed someone with speed to take off the top and stretch the field. But Johnson is much more than that too. He's a dangerous threat with the ball in his hands. He can make you miss. He's got the agility and footwork of a much smaller receiver, but he is a massive guy and he has superstar potential if he can just get his hands to be more consistent. I think Herbert and the Chargers fan base are going to love this guy. Fifth honorable mention on my list is Deontay Banks, pick 24 to the New York Giants. And Banks is perfect for their new defensive coordinator, Don Martindale, who loves to run press man. And that is what Banks is best at. He's got phenomenal hips and he is a supremely elite athlete. A 4.35 40, a 42-inch vertical, and 11.4 broad jump. These numbers are elite for the cornerback position and they're perfect for a man coverage corner who's got to stick like glue, and it's a little bit less about instincts and more about some of these traits. Banks didn't show a great feel for zone, but in this Martindale scheme, I think he could be a great early contributor for the New York Giants. The last honorable mention that I have to shout out is Dalton Kincaid, pick 25 to the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs have been doing all the heavy lifting for this team. They haven't had a running game, and they haven't had a true number 2 to lean on, but Kincaid can be that guy because of his immediate speed that pops off the tape in everything that he does. He's got tremendous stop and start speed for a tight end. He does not lose any speed when making cuts in his routes, and he makes all the tough contested catches. So I expect him to right away put up monster numbers with Josh Allen, and I think this is going to help Stephon Diggs too. The Buffalo Bills offense should get a lot better with him. And that is my favorite first round picks from the 2023 draft. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe so you can see my next video, my favorite picks on day 2, rounds 2 and 3 in the 2023 draft. It'll be a little bit shorter than this one because the value was so high in the first round. I wanted to give you guys a little bit extra information on what went into these picks. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.